Hello, bachcho. Let's see passage 2. It talks about India's deepening engagement with its allies in the military sphere is recently now not music to China's ears. So this is an idiom that is being used. Ki how India is being engaging with its allies is not a pleasant thing for the China. The blatant attempt to play spoil sports during the maiden Asian India maritime exercise, that is also termed as AME 2023 in the South China Sea, underscores Beijing's discomfort. Boats belonging to the Chinese maritime militia came close to the area where the navies of India and ASEAN countries were taking part in the drills. The apparent intention was to disrupt the exercise or intimidate the participants. Fortunately, the drills conducted smoothly, and the two Indian warships INS Delhi and INS Delhi and INS Satpura moved towards their new destination in the region. Such militias, consisting of commercial fishing boats, reportedly work in tandem with the Chinese authorities. It's obvious that China has taken exception to AIM 2023, which is aimed at promoting अब एम 23 का क्या एम था, लेट्स सी, in promoting the maritime cooperation and enhancing the trust, the friendship and the confidence among the navies of India. अब इसमें कौन कौन से nations थे? इंडिया, वियतनाम, थाईलैंड, फिलीपींस, इंडोनेशिया एंड ब्रुनेई. Last year, Beijing had reacted sharply to India-US military exercise held in Uttarakhand near the LAC, claiming that it violated the spirit of border agreement signed with the India. China's own record of adhering to this pact is abysmal. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh firmly told his Chinese counterpart Jen Li Shangfu a fortnight ago that China's violation of existing border agreements have eroded the entire basis of the bilateral ties. China's latest provocation has come amid the Beijing visit of Pakistan's naval chief Amjad Khan Niazi. Islamabad is receiving all-out support from China from its naval modernization plan. तो जो पाकिस्तान का naval modernization plan है जो कि इस्लामाबाद में हो रहा है उसको चाइना फुल सपोर्ट कर रहा है. द article is saying Pakistan will get 8 Chinese submarines. अब वो support कैसे कर रहा है? Pakistan will get 8 Chinese submarines besides 4 modern naval frigates. Jin Lee told Niazi that two all-weather friends should join to safeguard their security interests. Thus, India faces a manifold threat from the hostile neighbors. The key for New Delhi is to augment its military firepower and be well prepared for any misadventures. Now let's see the questions for the passage. Question number 6 says, based on the information provided in the passage, which of the following statement is the most reasonable inference? अब हमें क्या करना है? हमें inference draw करना है, and there can be one or more than one inferences, but हमें most reasonable inference कौन सा है वो figure out करना है. So let's see the options. Option number A says the China's interference in the Asian India maritime exercise signifies its desire to establish dominance in the South China Sea region. Though we can say that option number A can be one of the inference, but it is not directly anywhere mentioned in the passage that the mere interference of China shows its desire to create a dominance in the South China Sea. This is a wrong option. B says the success of Asian India maritime exercise has solidified India's position as a regional military power. This is not a correct inference, though we can say that there was a success in the conduction of this, but passage nowhere says that conducting a successful Asian military exercise could solidify India's military power or not. So this is again a wrong inference. C says China's discomfort with India's military engagement indicates India's increasing assertiveness in countering Chinese influence. This option is a correct option because when we see that India was conducting the military exercise, it does caused discomfort to China. That was visible when it argument that there it was not in line with the agreements of the boundaries. It was not as per the peace treaties and etc. So these things in itself show that India is ascertaining or it is making its position very clear in the military. So this is a right option. D says the presence of Chinese maritime militia boats during the exercise is a clear indication of India's inability to protect its maritime interests. This is again a wrong option and cannot be inferred from the passage per se. So let's see the question number 7. Given the information in the passage, which of the following statement is best supported? अब इसको कौन सा statement best supported है through the passage, हमें ये बताना है. So let's see the options. A says China's maritime militia was successful in disrupting the Asian India maritime exercise. This is a wrong option because the passage clearly mentions that even though there was the presence of China's maritime militia, the exercise was completed very successfully. B says India's military engagement with Asian countries has effectively countered China's attempt to intimidate the participants. This is a right option because when we see the passage, it does talk that when AIM 2023 was conducted, the China did send its military militias in the borders, but even though they were there, the exercise was completed successfully, and hence the China's attempt to intimidate the participant was not fulfilled successfully. So B is right. C says China's violation of border agreements in India has had no impact on bilateral ties with India. This is a wrong option because the passage clearly says that its violation has resulted in erosion of the existing ties between India and the China. Let's see D option. It says Pakistan naval modernization plan is primarily aimed at countering India's growing influence in the region. This is wrong option. There is nowhere explicitly given that its naval modernization is per se focusing on India. So this cannot be supported. Let's see question number 8. What is the main idea conveyed in the passage? तो हमें passage का main idea क्या है ये बताना है. Let's see the options. A says China's interference in the Asian India military exercise reflects its aggressive military tactics in the South China Sea. Option number A is very narrow in nature and does not focuses on the broader part of challenging India. So this is a wrong option. B says India's military engagement with Asian countries is challenging China's dominance in the. Though this is a right option, we can simply derive this by the information that was given that China's military militia approached the AIM 23 location when it was being conducted to intimidate or interrupt the exercise, but it was successfully completed and the two Indian military ships were sent to their new destinations and hence challenging the India's dominance. Let's see option number C. The tension between China and India over military exercises highlighting the need for enhanced diplomatic negotiation. This is a wrong option because the main focus or main idea of the passage is on the military exercise and India challenging the dominance of the China. D says Pakistan's naval modernization plan possesses significant threat to India's security in the region. This is again a wrong option because it is not directly linked to the passage, though it mentions about the naval modernization plan, but it is not anywhere directly linked to India being challenging the dominance of China. So this is again a not main idea of the passage. Let's see the question number 9. It talks about which of the following, if true, would weaken the argument that India's military engagement with Asian countries challenging China's dominance in the region as presented in the passage. तो हमें बताना है कि कौन सा ऑप्शन ये सारे ऑप्शंस में से वीक करेगा ये स्टेटमेंट जो कि मेंशन्ड है, ऑलरेडी मेंशन्ड है जो कि क्वेश्चन में. अगर ये ट्रू मानते हैं हम तो हमें वीक करने वाला स्टेटमेंट ढूंढना है. कीप दैट इन माइंड. लेट्स सी द ऑप्शंस. ए सेज China's maritime militia was actually conducting routine patrols in the South China Sea and had no intent to disrupt the Asian military maritime. This is a wrong option because the passage clearly says that China's discomfort was visible and they had intentions to interrupt or intrude in the exercise that was being conducted. B says the participating navies of Asian countries expressed dissatisfaction with India's leadership during the exercise, indicating a lack of confidence in India's ability to challenge China. B is a right option, mean that this will weaken the argument which is given above, because if the Asian country or the participating countries itself think that India will not be able to challenge China, and hence India's engagement with them will not be fruitful in challenging China. So this is a right option. C says despite China's attempt to disrupt the exercise, the overall impact on the participation navy's operation and capabilities was minimal. This will not weaken the argument which is given above, and hence this is a wrong option. D says India's military engagement with Asian countries primarily focuses on capacity building and joint training exercise rather than challenging China's dominance. This is again a wrong option because the main focus is on challenging China's dominance. Let's see the last question. 10th question talks about which of the following assumption is required for the argument presented in the passage that India's military engagement with Asian countries is challenging China's dominance in the region. तो हमें बताना है कि कौन सा assumption ये central theme of the article के favor में. So let's see the options. A says the navies of Asian country are actively seeking opportunities to counter China's dominance in the South China Sea. This option is a right option because when we talk about the exercise of India in Asian countries, if the Asian countries are not seeking opportunities to counter China's dominance, India alone cannot do so, and hence the assumption that Asian countries are also seeking opportunities to counter China's dominance is right assumption. B says India's military capability and resources are on par with or superior to China's South China Sea. This is a wrong assumption because the passage per se not talks about the capabilities of the military of China and India, but it talks about how India is being engaged with the Asian countries, and hence this assumption is not valid. Let's see this option number C that talks about China's maritime militia is a significant threat to the operations and objectives of the participants navies in the Asian Marine India maritime. This is again a wrong option because the China's maritime militia threat was not important. Just the objective of the Asian countries was to counter the China's dominance in the sea. D says the Asian India maritime exercise is a strategically important event and that has direct impact on China's perceived domination in the South China Sea. Even though the South China Sea पे China का dominance is one of the important aspect of the Asian India maritime exercise, but it does not have any direct impact on the same, and hence this is also a wrong assumption. So I hope the passage was understandable. All the best.